In this tutorial we'll be looking at Ecotect and a very handy tool for conducting site analysis without even doing a design. So in Ecotect we can very quickly upload data about a particular location by clicking on this World tab, going down to Load Weather File, selecting our location, which is Melbourne, opening it up, see that it's successful, and then, as I said before, even putting a design in, we can go to Tools, run the Weather tool, and this will open up a lot of information about Melbourne that we can plug into any sort of site analysis. Here we've got daylight hours, radiation, temperature, wind speed and direction during particular times. Down here on the left is the actual menu bar for the information. So here we've got Melbourne open. We can go now to solar position, and this basically tells us any time of the day and the year which angle the sun's coming in at to the center point there. There's a really cool tool which can be run called Best Orientation. Now here we just select the hottest and coldest months of the year, which look pretty accurate here, and then from that it runs a simulation to determine the best orientation, which is a compromise of underheating and overheating periods, which for Melbourne is due north. It's not necessarily due north for Southern Hemisphere and due south for Northern Hemisphere. I've tried some cities which are off-centre, but the analysis here shows there's obviously a large area which is overheating period, and then a smaller area which is underheating, and it finds a compromise between the two to determine what orientation buildings should be at. Next we can go to the psychrometric chart, which my understanding is sort of tells you again about comfort zones and allows you to sort of input information about the insulation that you might want to add into a building. So with this we can say what sort of activity is going on in the building. It might be a work shed where there's heavy occupant activity levels, or could be quite a sedentary sort of place. Next we can add in information about the time that we want to be looking at. But this chart overlay is quite interesting. We can tell the chart what sort of insulation we're using. This one, multiple techniques, allows you to choose multiple at the same time, so it might be evaporative cooling, lots of thermal mass. That's probably the closest you get here to some sort of vegetation on the outside of a building, which is kind of what I'm interested in. And then we just press OK, and then the chart tells you what the effects of those insulation and other techniques would have. And then there's an area of comfort zone for year round in this case, but we can also select for winter or for summer or any of the months. Next is wind analysis, and very basic sort of wind rosette for Melbourne. We can show comparisons through the with other climate data, wind, rainfall, which it doesn't have for Melbourne, and average relative humidity. We can show this by month, and all sorts of variables. There's hourly data which is available, and then weekly data. This is quite interesting graph for year round. We can manipulate this by clicking on the right side of the mouse, have a really close look in at a particular time of year, but basically that's the average temperature for Melbourne throughout the year over the 24-hour period, back to monthly data. So this is a great snapshot. If you want to take a snapshot of a particular thing, just press on the camera icon down here, and you can export it as a particular type of file. This is, as I said, great for site analysis, nice and simple, and you can pretty much cover, you know, most of the world by selecting the correct weather file. So that's it.